You had certain expectations for your team. Many of those have yet to be met and won't be met based on what you thought preseason. But none of you three thought that your teams were going to compete for an ACC championship because of that monster on the other side. But certainly, well, for Miami, the monster's on the other side. But certainly thought that they were going to be much improved teams over what they showed last year. So maybe more or less a review of what the past a little bit. What are we, 2/3 through the season? What are the disappointments? What is hopeful? What is encouraging? What is a huge area of development? Where does this program and the team stand versus what you initially thought? As we just go back 2 months ago to the beginning of the season, a lot can change in 2 months of evaluation.
Well, I was just going to say something real quick since I just got done talking. But what I'm starting to get worried about is, once again, is this another Dalvin Cook scenario where Cam Akers is carrying this team and keeping them in games? Is this what this is, Jason, to you? Because it's starting to feel a little bit like that. I know it was a Syracuse game, but even before that and blah, blah, blah. Is that how it's starting to feel? Because, damn, is Florida State lucky to have some really talented running backs coming in. And some respect has got to start going to Dante Pimpleton. I mean, last year, Cam Akers didn't look like himself whatsoever. He didn't like how he was as a freshman. But Dante Pimpleton was getting crap over – this is a whole nother conversation. But he was getting crap over recruiting and all of this jazz. But I'll tell you what, he did his work. He's done his recruiting. Brought in guys, and then also now Cam Akers and Kalen LeBourne. Both of these guys look very nice. I wish we could still see. God, what's his name? I was just talking about it earlier. Third string.
Amir Rasul.
No. Right now, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. He's out right now. Hasn't seen the field whatsoever. He's dealing with personal issues.
Why you shouldn't have had that beer? Okay.
No, I guess I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Here we go. While I get that up.
Let me answer your question real quick, though. Number one, I think Cam Akers had a bad 2018, both because that offensive line was god-awful and because of the fact that you literally were going from the pro-style, trying to be an NFL offense of Jimbo Fisher to the let's just try to act like we're NCAA football 2019 video game with Walt Bell and Willie Taggart. You're trying to run this kind of spread option offense with pro style players. So I think that was the problem Cam Akers ran to last year. I think this year, the offense, those guys have started, they've played a year, they know they're still struggling, but they're a little bit more comfortable. And that offense under Kendall Briles has been toned down a little bit. It's a little bit more of a pro style friendly, but it's more of a good mixture of both.
I'm giving. Sorry, it was Anthony Grant who that was talking about. But yeah, I mean, but I'm still giving it to Cam Akers. Not only what he's done during games and where you think he should absolutely be tackled, he gets out of it. This is a lot of. This has got to be put on him too, not just how maybe the offense is run. This is second year, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's still a situation where there's three guys on him and he gets out of it. And then there's also the thought process of how much time and how many plays he's getting during games. It is absolutely ridiculous how much playing time he gets and how much effort he's giving. It is incredible. That goes towards what he did during the offseason and working out and conditioning. This dude is stupid in shape. He looks like he's James Wilder with about no % of fat on him. A lot of props is going to him, and he's going to actually do very well moving into the league with this because, I mean, offensive line isn't the greatest whatsoever, and we know that. I mean, we can talk about that Canes-wise too.
You got 10 minutes. You want to talk about offensive line here, Billy?
No, I don't think we want to talk about that one as a whole on the live stream.
To answer the other question you asked, am I seeing a lot of Dalvin Cook? Yeah, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Dalvin Cook, pardon the language, Dalvin Cook kicked ass for 3 years. And sorry, Cam, kicked Miami's ass 3 times. So I'm perfectly fine with Cam Akers being just like Dalvin Cook. I will be more than happy to take that. Now, to answer Mark's question, am I disappointed? Yes, I'm disappointed in the second half. I'm disappointed in what pissed me off as a Florida State grad about the Wake Forest game was it was just like watching the Boise State game, the Virginia game, and to a certain extent the Louisiana Monroe game. It was like they regressed after the Clemson loss. It was great first half, crappy second half. So that's what frustrated me about that Wake Forest game. So am I upset that the team is 4-4 right now? Yes. am I, and I'm the eternal optimist that comes with the price of being a graduate of a school, is that I eternally will think that FSU is going to finish off on a high note. We'll talk about the prediction for this game, but I agree. I do think they beat Boston College. I do think they beat Alabama State, and I think that it's going to be a much closer game in Gainesville than a lot of people do think right now. And just for the record, the last time I was in Gainesville was 2011 when we beat them 21-7, scoring with 94 total yards of offense, and their fans started throwing stuff at my stepfather, who is a Florida grad, for bringing a Florida State fan to the game. So just shout out to all the Gator fans there. I refuse to step in that white trash cesspool known as Gainesville for a while. Shout out to the Gators.
Shout out to the Gators.
I hate them, I hate them so much. Sam, I will throw up the U when you guys play them so much. Oh my God, I hate them.
What the
if it comes down to Miami,
someone mute me. Someone mute me. Someone mute me. I'm muting myself so I can cuss real quick. What the?
You can mute yourself. There's a mute button right there. Yes, if Miami's playing Florida, I will obviously root for Miami to beat Florida, without a doubt. No doubt.
I will root for Florida State against Florida also. I'm not going to chop on anybody or anything. I saw Mark put up some comment from somebody saying, when I learned to respect Florida, maybe Miami would beat them. You've beaten Miami twice in my lifetime, and I'm 38 years old. Shut your face before you come over here. And I'm not even going to go any further than that.
Go further.
No. I'm going to stick here.
Not enough beers yet.
No, I don't need any beers to go there against Florida. But don't sit here because you've won 2 times in my lifetime talking about when I respect Florida. Watch.
Go there.
Whatever. JJ Jobs. Yes, the Gator hate is real because y'all suck. Anyways, moving back to the lecture at hand. To respond to your guys' comments about is Cam Akers Dalvin Cook? Definitively no. Because if he were, you guys would have won these last 2 games against Miami. He's very good. He's very good. I'm not going to say that he's anything less than that. He's a 5-star. He hit us for 121 and 2 tutties his freshman year. Cam Akers is that guy. And he has a wonderful name because Cam. Yeah, I get it. No, he's not Dalvin Cook. And I saw people when you recruited him were saying, oh, he's going to be evolutionary Dalvin Cook. He's going to take what Dalvin Cook did and elevate it to levels unseen. Look, you guys need to go back and watch and respect what number 4 did for your program.
Oh,
because it was 4 and 5 when Cook and Winston that took y'all so far. And I mean, Dalvin, like you said, I was there for those games in Hard Rock Stadium when Dalvin Cook single-handedly said, we're not losing, give me the ball, whether it's a screen pass or a handoff or a toss or option pitch, whatever. Cam Akers is really, really good. Cam Akers can impact games like few players in America can. Cam Akers is not Dalvin Cook. That's me.
Cam Akers is not a better running back. If you're saying as far as the running back position and what the stereotypical definition of what a running back does.
No. I'm saying in general, he's not.
Cam Akers brings a dimension that Dalvin and once again, I think Dalvin Cook is one of the best.
No.
Do I think Dalvin Cook is better than Cam Akers? Yes, I do. Do I think Cam Akers brings a dimension to that offense that Dalvin Cook didn't? Yes, I agree with that. And
then why are you not scoring more? Why are you not winning more games? He brought that element where he would take a play and he would take it to the house. He does. And so what we're saying is Cam Akers does different things better than Dalvin Cook does. So, but there's things that Dalvin Cook did better that impacted games more. So I can't sit here and say that he offers a dimension that Dalvin Cook didn't offer when the performance of your team doesn't support that, because if he did, then you would have been winning more because Dalvin Cook won you games single-handedly. 2013, 2014, by himself.
Time out. First of all, just correcting you real quick. Dalvin Cook's freshman year was 2014. He wasn't on the team in 2013. That was Devontae Freeman, who was amazing. Shout out to Miami Central High School real quick on that one.
Right, so 14 and 15. My bad, got the years wrong. But still.
Number one, he had a better offensive line than what Florida State has right now in 2014, 2015. He gets credit for 2016 because he had to do everything single-handedly because that was the start of the demise
of he did it.
Offensive line. And
he did it, and y'all won, and Cam Akers couldn't make that happen.
Hold on. To answer your question.
I'm saying this.
Yeah.
Y'all are not giving Dalvin Cook his due.
Oh,
and it's terrible for me as a Jesus.
Oh my goodness, what's happening?
Miami,
get him a water. Get him water.
Get some water.
But you guys are really not. You guys are not valuing number 4 the way that he should be.
I think let me bounce back. Let me go.
No, hold on. I'm going to say something right now because I am the biggest Dalvin Cook fan, and I just said right there that Dalvin Cook was better than Cam Akers. So number 1, you're incorrect. Number 2, on the second part where you said how come Cam Akers didn't beat Miami either year, that's because I believe it was James Blackman in 2017 and DeAndre Francois in 2018 turned the ball over, and Miami was able to score short field touchdowns. That's why Miami was able to win both games, and that's not a knock against Miami. That's a fact.
If they trusted Cam Akers to do the job like they did Dalvin Cook, then they would have given him the ball and you would have won. So, that's fulfilling my argument.
What offensive line did he have last year?
What offensive line did Dalvin Cook have in 2016? And he still hit us for the. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is asinine. This is asinine for me to say, but honestly and truly, you guys are not valuing Dalvin Cook the way that his career mandates that you do. It is honestly asinine to say that Cam Akers is on the level as good as Dalvin Cook. That is disrespectful.
It
is disrespectful. To Dalvin Cook. No, and I'm a Miami alum, and I'm saying that y'all are tripping. Y'all are tripping.
No. Neither one of us said.
No one said that.
What is Dalvin Cook? What he asked, what he asked me was, am I seeing the same way where Cam Akers is having to be the entire offense, the same way Dalvin Cook was the entire offense in 2016? And I said, yes, that's the way Florida State is going to win the rest of the season. If Cam Akers is a majority of the offense, that's not a knock against Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook here. For the second time, Dalvin Cook was better than Cam Akers. I will 100% say that, and I will say that in Tallahassee this week. I will say that for the rest of my time. Dalvin Cook is better than Cam Akers without a shadow of a doubt. The question was, are we seeing the same type of thing where Cam Akers is having to lead the entire offense? And the answer is yes. And my comment was, I'm fine with that because of what Dalvin Cook was able to do in 2016 is the stuff of legends because of the fact that the offensive line was god-awful. And the fact that he was able to do what he did in 2016 with that god-awful offensive line, with DeAndre Francois as the quarterback, after that solid game against Ole Miss and you saw him start to tank as the season went on, yes, Dalvin Cook deserves so much praise for what he did in 2016. By seeing that same type of style from Cam Akers, that, yes, I think they're on that level. But no, Dalvin Cook was a better running back than Cam Akers. That's now 4 times. Are you happy with that, Cam?
I am happy with that.
One thing that I did notice too is that we're not talking about any of the Miami running backs. So it's good to see a lot of the praise coming to Florida State during this segment.
He asked you directly about that, first of all. So mute that. I was going now.
Someone that said DJ Dallas is better than Cam Akers. How many beers are they on? Because I need to grab some more.
No, they're on their second 12er of Natty Ice themselves.
On an absolutely unrelated side note, did Mark go to like Five Guys or something? Because we haven't seen him in about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just making sure.
He's enjoying it. He's got his popcorn.
I know, right? Look,
this is easy. This is easy for me. This is light work. I love this. I just wind you guys up and let you go.
You don't even have to watch.
I would like to answer because I wanted to touch on what you said first. But so for Miami, in terms of the future of this season, I was the one of any of us for either of our teams who said 10-2 heading into this year. That was me. I've been wrong on my season prediction for more than a month now. I mean, there's nothing to say about that. For Miami moving forward, the goal just has to be to win as many games as possible and win a bowl game. Whether that's 8 wins in the regular season to win out and then win a bowl game to get to 9, whether that's 7+1, whether it's 6+1, whatever it is. First of all, bowl eligibility, because, we're not bowl eligible yet. So first of all, we have to get bowl eligible and then win that bowl game. That has to be the goal moving forward. And really, obviously trying to win out and hope that Virginia loses another couple of times and everybody else in front of us in the Coastal slips up so that by some hook or crook, smoke and mirrors thing that Miami does earn their way to Charlotte for the sacrificial lamb spot against Clemson, because I was there in 2015, the game that got Al Golden fired. I was there in the post-game pressers when I think that we were allowed as the collective media to ask him 3 questions before he skirted off into the locker room, knowing that his job was gone. I was there in Charlotte in 2017 for that game as well. So I believe that was 93-3 across 2 games against Florida, against Clemson. So yeah, hopefully getting to the ACC championship game does give another game in the season, and then can, in the first year of the Manny Diaz era, give you a quick measuring stick to see how far from Clemson we are. And let it be known, let it be said, we're far away from Clemson.
So to play off of what Cam's talking about in regards to the Coastal Division race, I've got the metrics right here. I'm going to lay this out, post the video. It's a mess.
It is a mess. One of our new contributors, he always tweets about that, so I'm having him write up all of the scenarios and everything. But the long story short is Miami needs to win all of their games in the Coastal, in the ACC, and then hope for some help. I mean, the delineation of the help, yeah, that's where all the permutations come in from. I believe I saw the ACC football account, verified account, tweet out that there are, with the number of games left and the number of Coastal Division teams still left to play those games, there's like 67,000 different permutations of results if you take all those games into account. That's a lot. But in terms of Miami, yeah, the goal has to be to win, get bowl eligible, win as many games as possible, and win the bowl game. Which for me is a gigantic departure from what the preseason mentality was at 10-2, 10 preseason viewpoint. But that's where we are. So yeah, for me, more than Logan and Jason, things have recalibrated in terms of the Miami Hurricanes. For me.
Mark, I have breaking news real quick. I'm sorry, I do have to apologize. I have breaking news. Just came over the wires. Florida State has been eliminated from contention for the Atlantic Division. So just
thank you for that news flash, Jason. And of course, anytime you state my name, you are contractually obligated to say
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.
Thank you very much.
Been eliminated. This has been
so basically, right now, as it stands, with most of the teams in the Coastal Division having played 5 games with 3 to play, consider that our new game of the year in the ACC is coming up this weekend with Virginia at North Carolina. Both teams are 3-2 right now. It doesn't matter right now, but it's interesting to me to consider that North Carolina is 3-2 in the ACC, and consider these 2 losses: 2-point conversion play at the 1-yard line against Clemson, and a 6 overtime loss in which they blew it many times. Mac Brown did make some questionable coaching decisions. Stop it, Jason. Don't say a word. Some questionable coaching decisions, but losing in 6 overtimes to Virginia Tech, or UNC's that close to being 5-0 in the ACC, and even lowly Georgia Tech is only 1 game behind in the loss column, and as a tiebreaker, of course, against Miami.
And Wake Forest can still have to play Clemson on November 16th. So let's. And Clemson has been known to lose a conference game before. It's not going to happen this year, but you can always hope.
Yeah. So technically speaking, yes.
Wake
if
Forest.
you look at the standings and the schedule, Wake Forest could, with only 1 loss in the ACC, that to Louisville, inexplicably giving up 62 points. My goodness. But anyway, it's only 1 loss in the ACC, and they get the head-to-head against Clemson. If they win that game and win the rest of the games, it's not going to happen. But
Wake Forest, Virginia for the ACC title? Woof.
Oh, God. No.
I would love it. Which program has, I'm going to say their upside is basically equal for the most part. We could split hairs there, but which one has the more hopeful future to reach that upside? What do you think, Cam?
Miami, because Clemson's not in our division. And
Good
Miami has, that's it. We'd have 1 less hurdle in our way to get there. Now, Miami does need to do what they need to do. They need to recruit better. We've talked about this.
Hurdle.
It's a massive roadblock. Hurdle is being very generous in that, but it's a massive roadblock to overcome. But Miami has to recruit better. You cannot let the best guys from South Florida keep going to Alabama, Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, and Ohio State. Those are where invariably the top guys from the local area here go. You can't keep letting all of those guys get away. So yeah, you do have to have that. And the schedule in most years is advantageous towards that, because again, you're going to have Florida State as your crossover in the ACC, and then one other team from there who's usually not going to be that great, because it's going to be another 5 years until we get Clemson again as our crossover team. So yeah, I think that the road back is easier for Miami as opposed to Florida State?
If you're asking the question in the, it's tough because I think they both can bounce back. And once again, this goes back to being the eternal optimist. I think both have the potential to bounce back. I think for me, the question I want to ask is how long do you give Willie Taggart and Manny Diaz? Because I think if you're willing to stick with these guys, I do think that both of these guys have the capability to do something special. I think Willie Taggart showed it at other schools where he took, programs, and you're going to say Western Kentucky, you're going to say USF, whatever, but he took them from the pits to 10-win programs. And I think with FSU's talent, if they stick with him, and I think if FSU does, let's say, go 7-5 in the regular season, Craig Lake, you're insane. Go 7-5 in the regular season, 8-5 in a bowl game. You're 3 games better than you were last year, 3 wins better. I think if you see that progress and they stick with him, I think FSU is in a better boat. I do think that Manny has more leeway just because of the fact that, and everyone's buying into Miami. I think Cam hit the nail on the head. I think Miami's in a better position schedule-wise because they don't have to play Clemson every single year. I think that right now Manny is living in the honeymoon moment. He's Mr. 305. Dad's former mayor. They completely forget that he graduated from FSU. He's all about Miami, all about the U, and all about this stuff. The question is, let's say worst case, Cam, Miami does go 5-7 this year, and I'm going to ask Cam this question: if Miami, let's say, finishes the year 5-7, what are your thoughts on Manny Diaz going on from this point? Do you give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was the transition year, or do you then say 2020 is the must-win season, or he's got to go?
No, 2020 is a must-win season, I think, either way. Again, you have Michigan State as your out-of-conference team, your marquee out-of-conference team, and then you open up 2021 against that monster that you call the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Don't do it again. We did it one time. Don't do it. I promise you.
Hey, man, I don't know. Look, the game is already scheduled. We're not going to get out of it.
Buy it. It's worth the money. Buy it out.
I know. And I watched that game, and when DeAndre Francois got hit, and I said, ooh, there goes their season. Like, literally, I said that on my couch. Hopefully that does not befall Miami. Again, but I don't think – and I think that it's different because Willie's in year 2 and Manny's in year 1. So I think that the timeline is slightly shifted because of that season. Even at a 5-7, I would not like it. But you also have to see how things are going. Obviously, Manny has made it clear through this year that working the transfer portal and getting guys in from other teams is a thing that he's willing to do. You also have to see how the actual recruiting class goes, because you cannot have another year when you only sign 18 guys and bring in 9 from the transfer portal. You cannot have that. You have to have a full class this year. So you had to see that, a full class of quality, by the way. So you had to see those things. So it's more than just the win and loss record, but a 5-7 season for Miami. If we were to go 5-7 this year, that does speed things up, and that makes the winning that I think is necessary next year all the more imperative. And then that 2021 season, if let's just play devil's advocate, let's just pretend I'm going down your path. 5-7 this year, 8-4 next year. That means you got to come out strong in 2021. That means by some miracle, you got to beat Alabama and you got to be rolling. And even if you lose to Alabama, you better be 5-1 or 6-1 come October, November. Otherwise, then that's when your time is really up. I think that kind of combination of things. So it's not like a one factor scenario, but it would spin forward in those couple of ways, I think.
I don't know what y'all are talking about, because Urban Meyer is about to be Florida State's head coach next year. So
oh wow! So you had another case of those natty ices back there.
I did. I actually have the fridge right here. So while I was off screen,
I see it.
I was hitting that. So I had about 4 more natty ices. I know Jason is.
Have you moved on to liquor yet? What's going on over there? Gee,
I don't know. I've got multiple things on this desk. So, I've got
not anymore, because apparently you're drinking all of them.
It's gone.
I literally got to be working at 5 a.m. I got a glass of water here. Like, what the hell?
I know. One thing I saw earlier too, Jason, in the chat, because I'm trying to keep up with the chat, because they're doing a good job tonight. 95% of it is Miami Hurricanes fans, and they never even went to Miami, so it's nice to see them in the chat having a good time with us, having a good time.
Currently, Logan, before you continue, Jason needs to pay attention to what's on the screen right now and heed the warning.
Yeah, Jay Jobs also was talking about people who go to FSU. I'd love to know where Jay Jobs went to school because I have a degree from FSU. Cam has a degree from Miami. Jay Jobs, which community college did you go to? Just wondering.
Damn, it's coming through now. But no, it is nice to see. We got a lot of chat from the Miami Hurricanes fans, but we have over like 200 people, and I try to do this on every live. We have 280 people watching currently, but only 130 likes. Can we get that to like 200 likes?
Oh, Logan's
like right now
here. I love it.
We're at 128 likes.
Here we go. Bugs Logan. Here we go. Go ahead.
I try to stay on Mark's good side. I'm trying to help.
I'm gonna ask one more question.
200 likes.
Real quick though. And Cam, this one's for you because I've noticed we have a lot of commenters and we talk about this a lot that, you know, it's the fans for both schools and for every major school who they just love to talk and love to brag about their programs. But there's a lot of people saying Miami is going to blow out Florida State. Are you willing to say Miami blows out Florida State, or do you think it's going to be a close game? We'll do predictions later, but do you think Miami blows out FSU?
I said this the last 2 years. If you took Miami and Florida State and made them blind resume profile teams heading into the 2017 and 2018 games, people would 100% have picked the Miami blind profile team to win by 3 touchdowns or more. But when you put the names on the teams and you put this game actually in the balance, when you say, okay, it's not just team A and team B, when you say it's Miami versus Florida State, though everybody who would have said, oh, team A would have won by 21, 28 points, you say, whoa, wait, hold on, wait. I've always been of that mindset. I don't ever think going into this game that there's going to be a blowout. Yeah, you got one, 2014, 41-14. You got that one. Okay, cool.
I remember that one. I was there. It was phenomenal.
Right. Or 15, sorry, up in Tallahassee. So
title season.
Right. That was a game that was close, or 13, whichever one it was, towards the half, and then in the second half, extended that one out, and they got there. I think that's the only time, and that took a national championship undefeated Florida State team into the fourth quarter to extend out to a blowout kind of a score. I don't ever think that Miami Florida State is going to be a blowout. And I know it's a cliche. You have to throw out the records. You have to, just because I've spoken, and I know that you have too, to so many players and coaches on both sides of this rivalry who say we know when we're going in, when we're both undefeated or both losing or whatever, it don't matter. We play and coach this game harder and stronger and faster and more intensely than any other game on the schedule. And that from both sides leads the game to be closer than a blowout. So I am unequivocally saying that this game will not be a blowout either way. No.
It was also 35-14 in the third quarter there. I consider that starting to be a blowout in 2013. But
okay. Got a question coming in from J Love T. J Love T is asking a question for Cam. Dan Mullen, that would be a no S, J Love T. Dan Mullen, if I can catch that and put it on the screen, but I'm reading it off right here. Dan Mullen is the best head coach out of the big three. Can Manny Diaz survive a loss to Willie T? The past meeting with FSU, the best head coach wins. I don't know, Cam, if you can make any sense out of that, but
no, I get it. He's saying that Dan Mullen's the best coach out of the big three.
Sure,
Manny's already lost to him, and can you survive losing to Willie Taggart? So that's Willie Taggart's first win against Miami, and also you go 0-2 against Florida and Florida State this year. Can you survive that? Yes. Is it optimal? No. Do I think that currently Dan Mullen is the best coach of these three coaches? Currently, yes. I'm not necessarily sure moving forward, but right now he is, and his team is playing the best. But can Manny Diaz survive a loss to Florida State? Yes, absolutely.
Dan Mullen has the best team right now, but I would still, the jury I think is still on him being the best coach, because my argument would be, I believe it was Jim McElwain had 2 seasons of 10 wins and went to the SEC championship game during his time in Florida, and then he humped a shark naked, or somebody a lookalike naked. So let's just be honest about that. Dan Mullen is in a very good situation right now at Florida.
Yes.
Is that situation going to last for another 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? That's the big question.
My answer towards that would probably be no, but yeah, I will say that right now, I mean, yeah, I do agree that he's in a pretty perfect situation, and it is going very well. So currently in this season of 2019, yes, I will say that he's that. Mr. Rubicon, again, I'm not saying that Cam Akers is not elite. Bro, what I'm not gonna we've already legislated that. We've already clarified that.
Can I give an update? One update real quick. The Astros are up 1-0 bottom of the second. Go ahead.
Great. Big facts. Let's go.
Well, we already have people thinking that we said Cam Akers is better than Dalvin Cook, so that can't be as bad as that right there, Cam. People are they're still putting in the chat that we think that. I do not think that.
No one said that.
It's on video, but usually this is chat. This is a live stream, so the chats usually try to bully you a little bit. I'm just wondering. I'm actually the only one. I'm over here interacting in the chat, and I'm wondering. I would like to see put their hands up or put like a number down or something. See, put the 305 if you actually went to Miami University.
The University of Miami.
Miami.
Ohio.
Doesn't matter.
No, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Beer, Logan. Put down the beer.
No, I want to see.
So you're one of those guys like that recruit a couple years ago who said that you go to the University of FSU.
God, never. Well, I don't need to respect. That's it. I don't need to respect the rival. He's the rival.
He's an intoxicated college student. Calm down for one moment there.
Not enough. Not enough yet. Not enough.
Logan, we're going to live in the past like some people have accused of us doing. So we're going to live in the past for a moment. I want each one of you your favorite game between Miami and Florida State that you have been to, and then I'll give you mine. So, Logan, we'll go with you first.
My favorite FSU versus Miami game. Whenever Nigel Bradham popped the living out of what was his name, Lowry, in the middle of the field, which he shouldn't have been thrown out of the game, but that hit was absolutely disgusting.
2011, yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. Ridiculous, unreal. I just loved how homeboy went on a little spin in the middle of the field and loved every bit of it, and watching Miami fans be scared for their life. I don't know. I don't like Miami fans. I'm not the same like Jason is, where he hates Florida more than Miami. I'm just against Miami and Miami fans. They give you too much crap whenever they come to the state. I've never been to a game though in Miami. Maybe Cam would like to go to one down there with me and show me the fun parts of it.
I'm on that. I mean, look, we are a lively, irreverent bunch. We definitely bring the energy all the time. You know, that's, I think, a big part of my success as a blogger is just because I am one of us. You know, I bring that energy all the time.
It is fun.
I would say
Cam, you didn't bring the energy against Georgia Tech. There were like 10 people in that stand, bro. Those stands, bro. Come on now.
Oh,
come on, dude. And I'm not doing that to knock you guys, but it's a fact. Against Georgia Tech, there was plenty of good seats available. Either that or everyone was dressed in teal suits. One of those two things was happening there. And that's not a knock.
I say we bring the energy. I didn't say that everybody shows up every game.
Okay.
There is a difference. I mean, look, we only had 5,000 of us go to Notre Dame up there in 2016, but you heard the Miami fans throughout that whole stadium over all those fuddy-duddy, old, people who were up there. So, I mean, the energy is always there. There is something to be desired about the number of fans.
So what's your favorite Florida State Miami game?
It's a tie between 2000, my freshman year, which was the introduction for me to that series. Again, I grew up in Detroit, so I know Michigan and Ohio State intimately and all of those games up there. But it was just different, just seeing that game. So between that and everything, sat at not in the student section, but at the 50-yard line with a friend of mine. And there was a dude from Dallas who was a Florida State fan, flew in from Dallas with his son, and they plied us with beers all night long, which at 19 years old was pretty awesome for me. And but between that and 2002, just a great game up and down the field. Xavier Betio, thank you for missing that to the left, sir. Appreciate that. But I would say between those two games, the first two that I witnessed in person between these teams, it's a 1A and 1B kind of situation for me.
For me, it's a tie between, I'm going to say, for a variety of reasons. 2013 was a big one for me. It was a game both me and my ex-wife, who was a UM grad. We went to Tallahassee for the game, and I just remember that was probably the loudest I have heard Doak. It was easily the loudest I've heard. Probably a lot of fans say it was one of the loudest. But just the energy and the fact that was the game where we came in number 3, Miami came in number 7, and it felt like the way the Florida State Miami rivalry should be. It was a great game. The outcome was phenomenal, but it was just that's the way that game should be every single season. For me personally, I would also say the 2000 game, and we talked about it a little bit because of the fact that I believe it was either 72 or 74 players from both teams who played at least one down in that game were drafted to the NFL. That is insane. It was also a big game because Miami got their first win since the '94 season in that game, so it brought the rivalry back. Florida State was essentially killing Miami. They beat them 41-17, 95, 34-16, 47-0 in the 97. I think the one was 99 to 31-21 game.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually brought the rivalry back, and Florida State didn't win again until 2005. So it was kind of like, okay, this is what it should be. This is the rivalry. I'm going to be pissed if we lose to Miami, but I'm going to be more pissed if we lose to Florida because it's kind of that, I always equate it to being a Dolphins fan. When you're a Dolphins fan, you don't mind the Patriots. You dislike them, but you have to respect what they've done. You hate the Jets. The Gators are the Jets. The Canes are the Patriots.
Apropos.
Got a question for the Florida State guys, Jason and Logan from J Love at T. To the Florida State guys, which Miami quarterback do you respect more?
I respect N'Kosi Perry more in this game because he does have the track record of having a win against Florida State. When it came out on social media today that Manny Diaz announced that it was going to be Jaron Williams, I'm going to be nervous in this game no matter what until the clock strikes zero and FSU comes out with more points. But I was a little bit more confident in seeing Jaron Williams. Not because I think Jaron Williams is a worse quarterback, but because he has not experienced this rivalry. He's experienced the Florida rivalry, but that happens once every 6 or 7 seasons. This is a different animal. And we've talked about it before. It's going to be, 70,000 fans in there screaming, in garden and gold, orange and green. So I'm a little bit more confident, not much more, but I'm a little bit more confident with Jaron Williams starting for Miami as I would have been with N'Kosi Perry.
I'm going Williams here just because he did play in the first game and of the season, and he faced Florida, which that was already kind of a wild crowd there, if you want to say that. I do understand, though, your point, Jason, about Perry playing against Florida State and having that experience there. This will, of course, be in Doak Campbell Stadium, too, so there will be a difference. This will be a lot of war chant. It will be very loud. Students will actually be arriving to this game. I think they're going to sell out for this game on Saturday. So it will be a different kind of atmosphere, of course, than what it was last year in South Florida. But I do think Williams is down to play better and play against a rival. I see some guys that have that kind of, I don't know what it is, that kind of energy they bring, and when they're young like that, and it seems to bounce them up and play better throughout their career, and definitely in college football. And one thing about Williams is that he can probably be able to, unlike in which way I want to talk about too, is how Florida State's defense is going to have to contain him, because if they don't get to him, then I do think Florida State has a big advantage on Williams with him being a young guy. But I do want to pick Williams here going into this game.